Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the opening action, the trading setup and the market strategies you must follow on the day-to-day. Well, let's start off with the entire wrap-up of what's happened on the market so far. The Nifty has spent the entire week in a consolidative band. We have seen immense amount of volatility even in yesterday's trading action when it was the weekly expiry. A narrow 250 point of a range is what you've seen the Nifty really trading at. Of course, going forward from here, there'll be many upcoming events that will be driving a direction in the next 2 weeks per se. Earnings season will kickstart in another week and a half. We'll have the US tariff clarity. Remember, July 9 is the deadline and we are awaiting some sort of a deal between India and US to be signed on the reciprocal tariffs. Of course, we have the GST meeting. We've already indicated by various shows of ours how this time around the GST meeting will be important. There could be many changes that you could be expecting. Sources have told India Today Group that there could be probably changes in the tax slabs of our GST as well, and there could be a potential relief also for the common man on the household goods as well. So watch out for this upcoming GST meeting. Now, of course, let's start off with what happened overnight in the US to really understand how things will be shaping up. Remember, it was a half trading session or a truncated one for the US because they're entering into a holiday today on account of their Independence Day. So the stocks rallied as the latest jobs data surpassed the expectations. So S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite both closed at record high levels. Wall Street continues to be on a rally again on these jobs reports that are coming in. US June non-farm payrolls have come in at 1,47,000 vis-a-vis the estimate of 1,10,000. Now, of course, we've also seen the US June unemployment rate now at 4.1% vis-a-vis an estimate of 4.2%. Again, what we've also seen is as a reaction, US 10-year yield has gained about 5 basis points to hit 4.34%. The 2-year yield has jumped 9 basis points to hit 3.88% as well. What else is happening in the US? The US House of Representatives have passed the big beautiful bill, the tax bill that has passed with a narrow majority, and the tax cut extensions, deductions, which will be adding about $3.3 trillion to the US deficit is something that everybody is keenly watching out for. President Donald Trump in the US has also signed this tax bill will be signing this tax bill into a law today. So keep an eye out on that as well. Apart from this, what's happening in the Asia markets? Well, Asia Pacific both have been mixed this morning. We have seen that this is following the Wall Street after stronger than expected jobs report that has actually come in. That has alleviated some investor concerns about a potential economic slowdown that we had been talking about in the last 6 months, 1 year with respect to the US growth projections. Now, what's happened in the US? Nikkei is up about 0.11% in trade. We're also seeing the Chinese index up by 0.3%. Hang Seng, although, is down by about 1%. You can see a Kospi also down by 1.5%. The Gift Nifty is indicating a positive start, mild positive around 25,511, and that's what we are given to understand at this point in time. What are the foreign investors doing? Well, foreign investors have net sold shares worth 1,771 odd crore rupees. In contrast, domestic institutional investors net bought shares worth about 1,078 odd crore rupees. So keep that in mind as well. We will be focusing on a whole host of sectors and stocks that you could be watching out for today. But I want to just reiterate some of the big news points that one must definitely look at in trade today, which the markets will be also reacting to. The big news that has come in is that SEBI, our capital markets regulator, has issued an interim order against Jane Street. Now, SEBI has also seized a 4,843 odd crore rupees in all unlawful gains from the Indian stock markets from the company. Entities linked to Jane Street case have actually been barred now from participating in the securities markets, and banks have been instructed to freeze the accounts and prevent any debit transactions by individual or entities under investigation as well. That's the big news that we are tracking today. Now, what has really happened? I'd like to explain to all our viewers here what we are given to understand and what SEBI has really found in this case. Between January of 2023 and March of 2025, global trading giant Jane Street Group allegedly exploited India's derivatives market with high-frequency strategy that SEBI now is calling manipulative and unlawful. The firm's profits in these trades are to the tune of 4,843 odd crore rupees that SEBI is impounding right now. Now, this is just a part of the entire 43,000 289 odd crore rupees it had reportedly made in India during the period as well. So this is the only amount that SEBI has impounded is 4,843 odd crore rupees. Only a part of the entire profits that they made that were to the tune of 43,000 to 89 odd crore rupees. Now, what has happened and what did Jane Street really do? Remember, Jane Street's operations in India were spread in three foreign portfolio investors: Jane Street Asia Trading Limited, Jane Street India Trading Private Limited, and Jane Street Asia LLC. On paper, these were separate legal entities. But SEBI's investigation concluded that these acted as a single group under the common control, executing synchronized trades with near perfect coordination. And that's how SEBI says that these people have made unlawful gains in the Indian stock markets. Now, SEBI has found that these entities routinely took opposite positions in the index derivatives, especially in the Nifty bank and the bank futures and options. On Jane Street entity, one of these Jane Street entities of these three would buy, the other would sell, and the same contract at the same price at the same time. So it was perfectly in coordination, synchronized, using different strategies in the stock markets, maybe taking a buy position in the cash market and taking a sell position in the F&O market on the same index as well. And all of this would happen on the same day at the same price. And that's how, by taking different positions, they have managed to gain unlawful gains, is what SEBI has talked about in their interim order. Remember, this is an interim order, not a final order. Of course, Jane Street will, of course, this entire situation will get into the legal proceedings now. What Jane Street is constantly marked out from itself is that making profits in Indian stock markets is not illegal, and taking opposite positions also in the markets is not defined as illegal. But remains to be seen in this entire case how SEBI manages to prove that there has been an illegal kind of an aspect or an intention with which Jane Street has operated in the Indian stock markets. Now remember, there were huge volumes in which these trades were being taken place in by Jane Street. Remains to be seen whether there will be an implication on the market volumes and market volatility as well because of the absence, because they have been now barred from participating in the Indian stock markets, at least till the interim or the legality processes are complete right here. So that's something that will be a larger story that we will be tracking throughout the course of the day. Of course, we will be getting to you top market experts to explain to you what has happened, how it has happened, and what will be the implications of all of that as well. Let's quickly look at how the markets have started to trade in the pre-open. On the back foot, 25,300, about 100 points lower in trade. That's what we are given to understand at this point in time, 0.4% lower as a reaction, and we will of course see how things pan out. Let's also pull up Nifty Bank for all our viewers to see. Remember, Jane Street, as we are talking about, has largely dealt with Nifty Bank and the bank futures and options, and has not really dealt too much with Nifty. 1.13% of a loss in the last 1 week. But let's pull up today's move also on the Nifty Bank to see. Remember, we had been celebrating Nifty Bank at record high levels over the last few days, and of course this will be important one to track. Let's quickly welcome Kush Kodasara, managing partner of Invest Value, as he joins in on the program with us to help us understand how to read up the situation. Kush, usually we start off with your market view and we talk about what's happening around the globe. But today, the big story is about Jane Street and how it managed to benefit quite a bit by taking opposite positions in the markets. Now, SEBI has come out with the interim order, of course, barring these entities from participating in the markets, impounding their accounts with about 4,843 odd crore rupees of profits that SEBI marks that they have been making illegally and unlawfully. But of course, legal proceedings aside, I want to understand, as a market participant, what kind of an impact do you see of an agency like this? And this will not be just one agency. There'll be so many more that will be operating like this in the Indian markets as well. So how should a retail investor really read into this?
Definitely, I think this news is a little bit worrisome for our traders. But for a longer term, I think retail traders should be happy that SEBI has been taking such actions. And in last 4 years, the way we all were talking about how frenzy was option trading, volumes were high, weekly options So this was one of the reason why maybe weekly options were, on Bank Nifty have been, been on hold. So definitely, I think, news for short term, yes, it will affect, because there might be many such small companies also. Now they will get afraid if they are doing it unlawfully, or maybe strategy is unlawful. Then we will see some volatility in the markets. But on a longer term, I think, SEBI, since last 2 years, it has been concentrating how to protect retail traders and investors, and that is positive for us as a, market participant. First, it was like, retail traders and investors were not interested; they were afraid of investing. But since last 2 years, the way retail participation is coming into equity markets through mutual fund, or through IPOs, is rising, and SEBI has been watching this, and this is the right step SEBI is taking on. I think shorter term implications would be tough, but on the long term, I'm looking at a positive way. Our market participants will get more safety. So positive for long term investors, that, way of getting cheated, doors are getting closed. So that is a good point.
Okay, got that. Coming back to the markets now, Kush, of course, this will take a lot of our time today to really delve into all the aspects throughout the course of the session, and we will try to get all the aspects and viewpoints on this case for our viewers as well to understand. But Kush, on the markets right now, slowly and gradually we were inching higher, and then a phase of consolidation has struck from the last 1.5 weeks odd or so, when the markets are not able to sustainably move above 25,500 and cross beyond 25,600 on a sustainable basis. There is a lot of resistance that's being seen at this point in time. Is it linked to a direction that will come in from probably US tariffs? Is it something that is waiting and watching to find out how the earnings really pan out in trade? Of course, in a week from now, we will start to get the earnings as well from the IT pack. And in case this has to continue for a little bit more, say about a week or so, then what is the strategy that investors must employ?
So strategy right now. So first, let's discuss strategy. So strategy would be, selling on rise with the stop loss of 25,700, because that's the level we could not breach on the upside. And we have seen a bearish engulfing pattern on Nifty, which was formed on this Monday. And until we close about 25,540, which is a 15-day average, we will be a little bit cautious. So strategy as of now on Nifty is, yes, sell on rise. I'm witnessing. I think we will witness some profit booking even in Bank Nifty. So both the indices are looking weak after, a good move last week. This week has been profit booking week, and in course of doing so, we have breached many support levels. So definitely cautious. Today's closing would be more important, but as of now, looking at yesterday's closing, technically we are weak. Now, why I think, fundamentally there are two, three reasons. Definitely, earnings would be a little bit lower than expected. Guidance is what we are looking at for the IT stocks. Secondly, trade talk. Everyone is very much positive on a ground level that India US trade talk would be easy, just like what maybe US and Vietnam had. But I think, Indian US trade talks would be much more difficult to, align in, because Trump wants to export its agri product and dairy products to India at a lower tariff. But I am sure India's population, which major population of India rely on agriculture. Our government won't let down that tariff. He wants auto sector to have a low tariff. Then our companies will be affected. So there is lots of ifs and buts. It won't be easy that our tariff talk would be beneficial to any one country. It would be tough on both sides. So I don't think any surprising or 0% or something we would see on a tariff side. So over expectation is in the market for the tariff. That is the reason I think, maybe even if we get some good news, we'll see some profit booking. So sell on good news is what I'm expecting next week.
Okay, got that. So that's the viewpoint on the markets as to what can reaction come in on the important aspects that the markets are waiting to really see some action on. Let's talk about some pockets then today again, and the markets have also turned green, by the way, 25,429 as we inch closer to the settling of the markets in the pre-open trade, and that's a welcome news again. Let's look at the defense stocks. Now the defense stocks were consolidating again over the last 1 week. But the stocks could again be in focus today. Why? Because Defence Ministry has approved 10 defence acquisition proposals worth 1.05 lakh crore rupees. Procurement includes armored recovery systems, EWS, and surface-to-air missiles as well. That's another big news that's coming in. Kush, what is your stance on the defence stocks? We were probably trying to understand whether too much of good news is already priced in because it was order flows after order flows that was getting a reaction on the defence stocks. But we've seen in the previous run-up that at one point in time, the valuations just could not prove to be sustainable. And then we saw the defense stocks getting into a sharp, consolidative space and crashed also about 30, 40, 50%. But this big order that's coming in, again, marks out to be a very good news for the defense sector. What should be the approach there, and any key stocks that you're looking at here?
Definitely, valuations is always a key for a short-term trading. I mean, generally speaking, people expect every day his stock should go up in the portfolio, but that's not the case. There should be a valuation momentum playing, and we may see some profit booking. So that's what it's happening on defense stock. So if you look at Nifty Defense Index, we are in a consolidation zone around 8,900. We are consolidating plus or minus 200 points on the index. So definitely I'm not I'm not seeing any much upside or great move as we have seen in the May or June. But yes, overall stocks are positive. From here onwards, maybe 10% is kept on the downside on an investment basis. As a disclosure, we have also already recommended clients to accumulate stocks for long term, because the way we have showcased our ability in Operation Sindur, I'm sure Middle East and from Southeast Asia orders are being coming in for our defense stocks. So BDL is my pick. I think BDL has not underperform its index. So first stock is BDL, which I recommend to buy at current levels. For the investment point of view, 6 months, 1800 can be a stop loss. Target is 2600. And second stock, which I believe that could outperform, is HAL. HL has given a good correction, on weekly charts on investment basis. Now it's forming a base, consolidating. So HL is my second pick. Stop loss 4800, target 5300. Both minimum investment period is 6 months.
Okay, got that. Let's quickly look at the markets, how they're shaping up in the pre-open after the markets have settled quickly. So the Nifty is in the green, 25,428, mildly higher. What could be up sectorally? Most of the sectors, point to a positive opening, although mild positive. Autos and consumer durables could be opening on the back foot, but Bajaj Finance could be in focus, 1.3% higher. Remember, there's been the business update that the company has given. Dr. Reddy's BEL could be in focus. You also have Bajaj Finserv that could be back in focus, JSW Steel. So metals, NBFCs could be in focus yet again. Sun Pharma, Reliance Industries, other pockets that are hovering higher. Reliance has again got another brokerage house update and the upgrade on the target price as well. We are also looking at many other pockets that could be hovering higher. Oil and gas could be in focus. IT could be in focus again. Remember, IT will now get into news because we are just about a week away from the earnings aspect as well. Let's talk about a few more stocks. Now, for the metals pack, let's start off by understanding Kush. There has been a lot of momentum over the last 1 week. Most of the companies are also now reporting their business updates here. Vedanta has delivered strong operational performance in the first quarter of FY26 across the portfolio that they've marked. They're also talking about the Lanjigad refinery has achieved a record quarterly alumina output of 587 kilotons. So that's another big news that's coming in. On the metals pack, would you stick with the Vedanta? Do you have other stocks in mind as well that you would want to talk about?
So definitely, Nifty Metal Index is on a up move since the lows in mid of June. As an index specific, yes, definitely 9600 is a good support for short term, and on the upside, I believe we may cross 98,000. That would be I think, record levels in recent past. So definitely a good momentum in metal stocks after many weeks. Stock specific, Vedanta is actually always my favorite pick for the investment view. I mean, the way the amount of dividend they give, so return on capital is more than a fixed deposit. So definitely, if you're a long-term investor, Vedanta should be in your portfolio. At current level also, it's at a strong support level of 450 on the weekly chart. So Vedanta, and as an investment, you should have this stock 450 stop loss. But for short-term trading, I think Hindalco, which is a high beta, that is where I am betting on the stop loss 675. Within 2 weeks, we may cross 740.
Okay, got that. Let's also welcome Kunal V. Parari. He's also joining in on the program with us to share his views on the markets. Warm welcome to you, Kunal. Good to have you with us as well. Tell us what's the stance that you're taking in the markets today? What's your strategy? Kunal, could you hear me? All right, I
Hello.
think Kunal is unable to hear us right now. Kunal, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Kunal, warm welcome. Good morning to you. What's the strategy on the markets today?
Well, good morning to you and Push. If you talk about Nifty strategy, then I'm seeing some downside momentum if Nifty sustain below 25,380. And yeah, this is the much awaited correction that we are waiting for since last 2 to 3 days. Before Nifty was in oversold zone, but right now it is just cooling off its euphoria. And if Nifty break this 25,380, then downside would be there up to the level of 25,200 to 25,150. And we all are eagerly waiting for this level to get into the Nifty index for creating long. So as of now, no any recommendation from my side. Wait and watch. 25,380 would be strong support. If it breaks 25,200, 25,100 would be there. And if we see this level, then only I'll be recommended to go long in Nifty index.
Okay, got that. I hope this has helped you out in the strategy. Kunal, any two stocks that you'd like to mark? Then we'll ask Kush his preference as well.
Well, frankly saying, right now I'm not going to suggest any fresh recommendation because I'm seeing some correction in Nifty and overall market. So I think one should wait for at least for 1 to 2 days. And today is the last day of week. I think so. One should wait for Monday to Tuesday, and I think at that time one will get trading opportunities at a better price. So I'm not suggesting to go for long in any stock as of now.
Okay, what about you, Kush? Any stock that you'd like to highlight?
Definitely, I would like to highlight two stocks, but that would be on the sell side or in the futures.
Okay.
So I think Bank Nifty is a little bit volatile. So a risky trade, ICICI Bank, you could short at current levels. Stop loss on future level would be 1460. Sorry, 1455. On the downside, positionally, I believe we may first have 1400 as a target, below which positionally 1380, and second, another heavyweight Tata Motors. I believe Tata Motors can also be given a short call. Stop loss 700 on the downside. I believe 670 on a positional basis.
Okay, got that. So I hope viewers, you've noted that down. Markets have started to tick. 12 points higher, 25,420 is where we are at on terms of the markets. Top mover on the Nifty is Bajaj Finance, up almost 2%. Dr. Reddy's, BEL, Bajaj Finserv continue to be top movers again. You also have JSW Steel as something that's moving up. Reliance Industries 0.3% higher in trade among the large caps. Among sectors, you have media stocks, oil and gas, FMCG, IT in action. You can see about 0.2 to 0.3% uptick in this one. India VIX has moved up a percent higher, so heightened volatility is what we can expect from the IT pack. Wipro is now moving up. You can see a 269 odd level on this one. In the F&O space, Marico is something that's also moving up as well, 3% higher for this one. In fact, what we are given to also understand on Marico, there are brokerage houses updates as well that we can actually go on to track as well. And of course, apart from this, BDL, Bharat Dynamics is also in the move. Power Finance Corporation is another stock that's higher. There is some move across the PSU stocks apart from BEL and HAL that we've discussed from the defense pack. So the defense pack will be in limelight today. 1% higher for BEL at 430 odd levels. Oil and gas, of course, IOC, OMC stocks can actually be up and about today. BHEL is also hovering higher in trade right now. Let's also pull up the top gainers from the Nifty 500 basket. Any key names that we can mark out for all our viewers today? Let us look at Swan Defense. That's been in momentum and it continues to be so. You're also looking at Godavari Biorefiners, a 5% circuit here. Of course, there's this anti-cancer drug approval that they've got from the European Union, and that's why the stock is higher in trade. Gensol Engineering is another one that's higher. Lokesh Machines is up in trade today. You're also looking at Sapphire Foods, that's higher by about 5 odd percent. Paras Defense from the defense pack is also up by about 5.5% higher. So these are the key names that are actually moving up pretty much higher in trade right now. How do you see the opening in the markets and what would your strategy be now?
So definitely, opening is little bit volatile. It's hovering around zero level mark. So let's wait for 10 more minutes. After we complete 15 minutes, we'll see what to do. But yes, as I mentioned in my opening minutes, I also agree with Kunal that I am bearish on the market until and unless we close about 25,550 on the spot level. A risky trader should have a sell on rise strategy.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also answered your question well. Let's move on to talk about some of the other pockets. Kunal, to you, I'm coming with the NBFC company, Bajaj Finance. The company has recorded a 25% year-on-year surge in its assets under management, reaching 4.4 lakh crore rupees as of June. Business updates pointing to a positive. The stock is up now smartly, 2% higher. How are you looking at the stock, and what's the next target?
Well, my view is to get into the stock at present level. Stock has been trading above its all long-term moving averages. Not only the stock has been trading in an upward channel formation since last many days. So this is perfect time to get into the stock for creating long position for medium term to long term. Right now, stock is trading at 929, and we will keep SL at 885 for trading perspective. First target would be at 962, and if stock breaks this level, then ultimate target would be at 1080. But yeah, this is for short term to medium term. But if we talk about long term, then I'm seeing good upside momentum even beyond the level of 1200. So yes, if anybody want to create a long term portfolio at present level, I think Bajaj Finance will be the first candidate for creating long term portfolio.
Okay, fair point. Got that. All right. To you, Kush, I wanted to come on Reliance Industries. How are you looking at the move that has already taken place from 1100 odd levels all the way up to 1522? And now, what is the next trigger is what I want to ask you. Today, there is a news flow that Reliance Retail has revealed a strategic minority investment in Face Gym. That's a UK based company known globally for its innovation in facial fitness and skincare. That's what Reliance Retail has announced. Morgan Stanley has come out with a report on Reliance Industries saying an overweight rating is what they have with a target price of 1617. They believe Gen AI will be the next frontier for RIL as it retools Jamnagar Energy Complex to monetize its energy production, which is a key hurdle globally for Gen AI ramp up. They also see a potential of up to $60 billion in value creation from the new energy vertical. So lots of, kind of triggers that one is looking at from Reliance Industries. There is also a heightened expectation that this could be the year when we could actually see IPOs coming in from Reliance Industries Group, especially on Geo and retail, some kind of an indication coming in. How are you looking at Reliance at 1590?
So definitely, first starting with the investment view as a disclosure, I and my family has been holding Reliance since the IPO. So yes, I think stock is looking good for a long term basis. I mean long term, I mean to say minimum 5 years of investment. So because as you rightly mentioned, we will see some demerger happening, many demergers happening in future. That is the key returns to all the investors because right now they are investing in retail, maybe data centers that will give some of them revenue boost in coming 2 to 3 years, not immediate boost because retail as a sector is in a slowdown in India. So definitely, I'm not looking any good profits, but these investments will reap benefits in long term. So if you're a long term investor, don't buy at one go at current price. I'm expecting a profit booking. So start investing as a SIP format. Every month you buy a few stocks of Reliance until we support is on the downside is 1300. So I believe that is a 200 point range where you can accumulate a stock as an investor. Talking about the trading strategy, I was just looking at the chart before you asked me, and I believe if we break below 1510 today, then it's surely a short call STBD only for trading perspective. Stop loss then would be 1540. Target on the downside would be 1450 on a positional basis. So as an investment, buy on dips.
Okay, got that. One more stock that you had marked out, Kush, is Tata Motors on the downside, and the stock is now slipping at around 687, 688. You had recommended this to short. Now, help us understand what's the next, viewpoint that traders should go forward with on Tata Motors.
So if someone has done a short position on the opening minute, I'm sure 695 would be the average price. In intraday, if you're intraday player, to book profit at 690. But if you're a positional player, hold it with the 700 stop loss as mentioned. On the downside, 680, 670 are on the cards.
Okay, got that. So I'll take another view from Kunal also on Tata Motors. Kunal, Tata Motors is something that a lot of retail investors bet very big on the stock on its upward journey. I mean, from the time in say March of 2023, 416, all the way up to say July of 2024 last year, the stock has had a one-way move, and retail investors kept on piling up more stocks. It was in four digits at upwards of 1100, and from that time the stock has just not been able to come back to that level. It's only been stuck around 650 to 750 kind of a range, and new news has actually been able to pull back Tata Motors. Technically, Kush believes there could be some more downside on this one. What is your sense?
Well, totally, my view is totally aligned with the coach what he said. Now, means Tata Motors is like at present level, it's a totally disappointed stock because even if we talk about month-on-month sales as well, then we have seen some 20% dent in auto sales. And if you talk about top three, then Maruti, Hyundai, and then M&M. So at one point of time, M&M Tata Motors was at standing at third place, but right now it has slipped to fourth place. And I think the way Toyota and Kia are gearing up with their new edge vehicles, I think we may see further slip in Tata Motors position to fifth to sixth. Now that will be like big dent, and that will be like negative sentiment overall. I don't know why Tata Motors is not gearing up their self for creating new vehicle in terms of body and all, service center and all. I think this is the only reason why everywhere means said negative sentiment is there in terms of Tata Motors and all, in terms of sales and all. So we might not see any kind of side momentum or positive sentiment unless until Tata Motors come up with clear plan on this part. And if you talk about EV part as well, then right now MG has just gained its first spot, where Tata Motors was standing at first spot just before the month. But EV MG has gained significant volume growth based on this Windsor. So both this part creates negative sentiment for Tata Motors. I think we may see further downside momentum to Tata Motors up to the level of 640 and way below it up to the level of 600. So I'm not going to suggest any clear recommendation if stock even fall up to the level of 600. Totally avoid this stock as of now.
Okay, got that. So Tata Motors viewers, keep that viewpoint in mind from both Kush as well as Kunal. Let's look at some more stocks. All right, let me just pull up a few more stocks that we can probably talk about. Today, some FMCG moves can be seen, about 0.4% higher on FMCG index as a whole. Marico is the top mover as far as the FNO picture is concerned. And we're also looking at a whole host of other stocks that are moving up. You have Britannia, Dabur, HUL also moving up. Some liquor stocks like Redico, Khaitan, United Spirits are also up. Godrej Consumer, Tata Consumer, they're also showing some signs of improvement. Kush, any suggestion of whether FMCG stocks are going to be breaking out of their long haul consolidation and a laggard period?
I don't think so. In near term, definitely, sales number would be little bit positive, but still FMG stocks are going to underperform. But stocks like Tata Consumer is what I'm preferring for a long term. You can see a good run already we have seen on Marico, but Tata Consumer is something on a sideways zone. So for every dip around 1,000, it is a good investment stock. They are low beta stocks, so I'm not suggesting any trading view. On the upside, I believe we may see 1,400 on Tata Consumer as investment. So other stocks like ITC, HUL, Nestle, I'm not preferring at current valuations, but definitely Tata Consumer for investment.
Okay, got that. Remember, I'll also mark out something that I was mentioning before. Marico Q1 update has actually come in, and it's reported a year-on-year revenue growth in low 20s for the first quarter of FY26, supported by a strong volume trajectory for the India business and double-digit growth in the international markets. It's the international markets that's the key trigger for the kind of move that we are seeing today. The company is saying that the operating environment reflected in consistent demand, with rural markets also showing signs of recovery. and urban sentiment remaining stable. Volume growth in India business, they believe, has improved sequentially, reaching a multi-quarter high. That's a key trigger, supported by core categories and expanding in the new business lines as well. They've also talked about the international business, growing for themselves. So that's the key trigger why you're seeing Marico at the top spot. Kunal, any suggestion from your side on FMCG stocks? Any stock that you like?
Well, if we talk about FMCG counters, I think we have been seeing very good upside momentum in a few counters like Marico, Redico, Britannia, HUL. Means they all are doing very good. And if you talk about Redico right now, trading at 2645, I think the way stock has been trading on its daily chart, I think we may see a further upside momentum in this counter. Stock has been trading in its upward rising channel formation only, trading above all its long-term moving averages. Not only this, if you talk about smaller time frame, then yesterday it made a bullish Harami candlestick formation as well. So all the equation goes in favor for creating long position only in the counter. Right now trading at 2642. One should get into the stock at present level. If you talk about SL side, then downside SL comes at 2580. And if you talk about target wise, then the way stock has been trading, I think first target would be at 2690, and if stock breaks this level, then one way rally would be there up to the level of 2780 and 2900. So amongst other counters, I think Radico Khatan looks very attractive on a daily chart.
Okay, got that. Kush, before we let you go, defense stocks, your top favorites, can you continue to bet on, say, BEL at these levels as well?
No. As I mentioned, BDL and HL, these are my two favorite stocks, and I think HL I will be overweight. I think
Okay.
5300 on the card.
Okay, what about you, Kunal? Do you know big defense orders coming in from the ministry? 1 lakh crore rupees of acquisitions have already been signed up by the ministry. What is this going to lead to? Further momentum on defense, do you believe?
Well, we have already witnessed a good upside momentum, positive momentum. But right now, I'm not suggesting to go for creating any long position in Paras, extra. Means many stocks are there like BEL, BM, and Midhani and all. Means the reason being is like we have seen a very good upside momentum. Now, if I want to suggest any fresh recommendation, then I am not getting any proper risk reward for creating any long position. So from my side, avoid. But yes, if you have any stock in your portfolio, then hold the stock because the way present government is working, I think further upside momentum will be there.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also helped you out in understanding the situation. Kush, we will thank you then for being with us on
Thank
the
you.
program and sharing your viewpoints with us and our viewers as well. Viewers, we'll continue our conversation with Kunal. Kunal, real estate is picking up some pace, I see, is the top moving sector now. You can actually see about a 0.5% uptick on this one. For real estate overall as a sector, what's the thought that you have, and which are your top favorite stocks from the real estate pack?
Well, now my means if you talk about real estate, I think Phoenix Limited, Lodha, Godrej Properties, all are doing very good in morning session. But yeah, my topic is Godrej Property because all we know that the Godrej Property has a biggest land parcel in the Mumbai and that they are planning to develop it. So we may see a good upside momentum in this particular stock. The way stock has been trading and the way stock is Godrej Property is planning to develop its big land parcel. Right now trading at 2281. I think one should get into the stock at present level. And if you talk about SL side, then downside SL comes at 2200. And if you talk about target wise, then first target comes at 2375. And if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 2580. Now, I have suggested this stock for positional purposes, but anybody want to go get into this stock for medium term to long term, I think this is the perfect bet for creating long term portfolio. You may see a very good upside momentum even up to the level of 3000 as well.
Okay. Another space that I want to bring everybody's attention to, viewers, is the QSR space, the quick service restaurant space. Particularly two stocks is what we are focusing on today: Devyani International and Sapphire Foods. Why are these in focus today? Well, Yum Brands, which is an American owner of the fast food restaurants, that's KFC and Pizza Hut, is now reportedly in talks to facilitate a merger of Devyani International and Sapphire Foods, the publicly listed franchise partners in the country. And this is as per the media reports that are coming in, not confirmed independently by Business Today. Now, the reports indicate that the negotiations could actually result in Sapphire Foods getting merged into Devyani International through a share swap deal. This will also entail the latter's either acquiring franchise rights of KFC and Pizza Hut from Sapphire Foods, or the entire basket of KFC's chains that are in India. Now, of course, this is going to be important development if it gets proved, and we get to see some further details. But that's one reason why you see Sapphire Foods rally about 8.5% in trade, and about a 3% up move on Devyani International also today. These are both the stocks that are now at the day's high level. Let's try and find out from Kunal, technically, how should one go about it? Of course, fundamental details and developments will follow.
Well, if we talk about first Sapphire, I think trading at 347, it is trying to give a breakout of its multiple resistance, which is placed at 339, and if stock sustain above this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 372, and more above towards the level of 400. Now, I'm not suggesting to get into the stock for a present level because risk reward is not in favorable for creating any long position. But yes, if the stock is there in your portfolio, then hold the stock. We may say very good upside momentum this counter. And yeah, Devyani International even looks very good right now, trading at 172. Last trading session, it made it form a hammer candlesticks formation. Right now, stock is trading at 172. I think this is the perfect time to get into the stock because we may see a very good upside momentum in the counter. First target would be at 190, and if stock breaks this level, then one way rally would be there up to the level of 210, and we will keep SL at 163. So risk reward is in favor for creating long position. Perfect bet for creating long position.
Okay, perfect timing there. Keep an eye out on that one, viewers, as Kunal has truly mentioned, looking at the charts, and this should definitely help you in taking, some, a sense of how to go about this space as well. And we will, of course, bring up more details as we get for all of you as well to understand better in this space too. Let's look at some of the other pockets. I think there are some momentum in the Nifty next 15 names too. Let's try to look at the stocks that are buzzing here. Swiggy is up 2% at 394. You have insurance majors like ICICI Pru that's higher, 1.8% up. You have Bajaj Housing Finance that's up by 2%. Info Edge is higher. CG Power, Bosch. You have HAL and of course some OMCs that are hovering higher. Chola Mandalam investment is also up in trade. Indigo is also moving in trade. That's the move that we are seeing in the Nifty next 15 names as well. We've marked out FMCG and real estate space for you. Consumer durables also picking up some pace. Let me just mark out a few stocks from this basket. Dixon Tech is up 1%. Blue Star is up 1%. Crompton Greaves, Havells, Kalyan Jewellers, Serra Sanitary, Voltas, Amber. These are the pockets that are up. Kunal, do you like anything from the consumer durables basket? Of course, within a month from now, we'll start looking at the festivities starting. Do you think this space will get into focus then and one should take a pre-position?
Well, exactly. Actually, I have been like keeping an eye on these stocks since long, and Voltas, Havells, if you call Crompton Greaves, Blue Star, all the stocks looks very good on a daily chart. Voltas right now trading at 1372. It has just forming its bottom, and I think for the upside momentum would be there because we are seeing a good upside momentum in the counter since last 2 to 3 days. I think this is the perfect time to get into the stock at present level because stock has just formed its bottom formation. They're trading at 1372. If you talk about upper side target, first target comes at 1470, and if stock breaks this level, then even stock march toward the level of 1610 level. So for Voltas, from my side with the strict stop loss of 1320. If you talk about Havells as well, then Havells as well looks very attractive right now, trading at 1580. The way stock has been trading, I think further upside would be there. We will keep SL at 1530. Right now, stock is trading at 1580. First target would be at 1620, and if stock breaks this level, then we may see a further upside momentum up to the level of 1670. Not only this, even Crompton Greaves looks very attractive. The way stock has been trading on its daily chart, right now trading at 352. We will keep SL at 340, and if we talk about target wise, first target comes at 363, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 385. Now, I have talked about the trading perspective levels, but yes, all these three stocks looks very attractive on a daily chart. All these stocks have created its bottom, and further upside would be there. So perfect candidate for creating long-term portfolio. Animals, Voltas, and Crompton Greaves.
Okay, got that. So consumer durables in focus, as Kunal has clearly mentioned there. Let's look at the shipbuilder names now. All of them are up and about now. Cochin Shipyard 1.5% higher. Mazagon Dock is also up in trade. Let's also pull up, GRSE names like GE Shipping, also Shipping Corporation of India. Let's pull up all of these stocks. They are in focus in trade today. We were discussing the defense names with both of you. Shipbuilders particularly. What's your current thought, Kunal?
Well, if you talk about all these three stocks, I'm not seeing any particular momentum. I'm not seeing any. I'm not getting any confidence for
Yeah.
creating any losses as of now. So, if you have this stock in your portfolio, then please hold this stock. I'm not. It's not from my side to go for long.
Sure. I think the only space that's clearly buzzing is the finance space or the financial services space. Look at the kind of stocks that are buzzing. Both the Bajaj twins are the top movers on the Nifty, Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv. You also have a lot of momentum on Shriram Finance. And look at Credit Access Grameen. It's actually moved up 8.5% in trade today. Very smart moves that can be seen across the board. Remember, Credit Access Grameen had also got a Motilal Oswal, buy target and as well as a target price of 1485 on the stock yesterday, and the stock had been in momentum. Top choices from NBFC space for you, Kunal. What would they be?
Well, no doubt we have already talked on the Bajaj Finance. Even Bajaj
Yeah.
Finance looks very attractive. We have been like keeping an eye. We have been like continuously talking about the Geo Finance. But yeah, one stock is that which looks very attractive at present level. It's a Bajaj Housing Finance. Okay, not Bajaj Finance, not Bajaj Finance, but Bajaj Housing Finance. The way stock has been trading on a daily chart, I think we will see a further upside momentum. The counter right now, Bajaj Housing Finance is trading at 123. Now, after getting listed, we haven't seen any prominent momentum in the counter. But this is the perfect level. This is the perfect time to get into the stock for creating long-term portfolio. Right now, trading at 123. If you talk about the target wise, first target would be at 137. And if stock breaks this level, then one way upside would be there up to the level of 146. Now, I have talked on this level. This is for intraday to positional. But if anybody want to get into the stock for medium term to long term, then I think 200 plus level would be there during upcoming trading months. So perfect level, perfect stock, perfect timing for intraday, positional, medium term, and long term.
Brilliant. Okay, so the perfect day, perfect timing, and perfect price as well. Let's also look at, by the way, HDB Financial is slightly lower in trade today. Third or fourth day of trading action, 1.3% lower at 852 odd level. So keep an eye out on that. It's from the same basket that we have been just discussing. Let's also talk about some of the other spaces. Okay, pharma is picking up some space today. Let's look at the pharma stocks which we haven't touched. Mankind Pharma in focus, Oro Pharma in focus. We have even the diagnostic chains like Loris Labs, Ipca Laboratories, Alchem Labs in focus as well today. Divi's is also higher in trade. Many other names that are pulling up are Glenmark Pharma, Lupin, that's also hovering higher. So pharma space, there is some action coming back. Your suggestion now, Kunal, on the pharma space, hospitals, frontline OEM spaces or diagnostics, what are you choosing right now?
Well, no doubt we have been seeing very good upside momentum. The pharmas right now means all the stocks which you have just said, they all are trading at a very good level. But one should keep an eye on Mankind Pharma right now trading at 2388 level. Just long this stock haven't performed yet well, but I think this is a time. I think we may see a further upside momentum from the present level. The way stock has been trading on its daily chart. We will keep SL at 2285 right now. Stock is trading at 2388, and if you go target wise, the first target comes at 2430, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside will be there up to the level of 2540. So yes, Mankind Pharma looks very attractive. Not only this, Glenmark Pharma even it looks very attractive at present level right now. Glenmark Pharma is trading at 1787 since last many days. This stock has been trading in its upper rising channel formation, trading above all its long-term moving averages. So further upside would be there, trading at 1787. We will keep SL at 1715. And if you talk about target wise, the immediate target comes at 1835. And if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 2000. So Mankind and Glenmark both look very attractive on a daily chart.
Fair point. Okay, I hope this has answered your question well. Viewers, in terms of the key spaces to look at within this basket that we are just discussing, let's look at some of the other aspects too. Okay, I have a retail space, Trent, in focus again. Remember, Morgan Stanley has come out with a report on Trent again. They have maintained an overweight rating with a target price of 6,359. They've talked about the AGM takeaways. The key takeaways have included that the company has reiterated its aspiration to grow Trent 10x from FY 2023 revenue in not too distant future with 25% CAGR. They also believe next 5 years the CAGR could actually be 25 to 30%. They are also not worried about competition, and there is space for multiple players right here. Remember, this has been one stock that was a clear outperformer. The Nifty doubler of investors' wealth in 2024 came into a consolidative zone, and I want to understand, for long-term investors, is it throwing an opportunity for entering into trend, because the company is positive on its long-term growth trajectory, 25-30% compounded annual growth rate that they want to grow in at, and they want to create 10x of its FY 2023 revenue going forward from here. Kunal, what would you say on trend?
Well, if you talk about trend, no doubt, right now we are witnessing some down counter by 7.5%, is trading at 5,726. I think one should wait for time being, because we are witnessing some selling pressure in the counter. So let this selling pressure get neutralized. Afterwards, we will get the clear direction. But yeah, long-term output, no, long-term outlook is positive from our side also. But for trading and position purpose, I think one should wait as of now.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also answered your question. We were discussing about the financials, but I want to talk about the largest bank that we have, HDFC Bank. And I want to discuss this because, Kunal, they have come up with the Q1 update as well. And, that's why the shares are in focus again in trade today. The stock has already moved up, in the last 6 months, 16% odd, after having a 4-5 year of negative to disappointing move that we have seen on HDFC Bank. Remember, the key recent trigger has been HDB Financial's IPO and the listing of that company, because it's the first subsidiary of HDFC Bank that's come into the stock markets. Now, the company has said that its gross advances grew by 0.4% quarter on quarter in the June quarter. Deposits were up by 5% sequentially. They've also said that its gross advances aggregated to 2.6 lakh crore rupees as of June 30th, which is a growth of 6.7% over 2.4 lakh crore rupees that was seen in the last year until June. Now, as far as the deposits are concerned, again, they stood at 2.6 lakh crores as of June of 2025, growth of 16% that we see over last year. And of course, the CASA deposits have stood at 8.6 lakh crore rupees, again a growth of 6% odd that we have as the company. How would you look at HDFC Bank at 1920 odd levels right now, Kunal?
Well, I'm seeing some sort of correction in the counter. I know trading at 1900, 18.7. If stock break, it's strong support which is placed at 1975. Further downside would be there up to the level of 1910. So if anybody want to go for creating any sort, then please wait as of now. If stock breaks this 1975, then we may see a further profit booking or correction in form up to the level of 1910. So a clear cut candidate for creating sorting for positional basis.
9:45 first half an hour candle is formed. Kunal, what's the sense that you have now? How will you be moving forward with the market now?
Well, Nifty has already break its 25,378 support, right now trading at 25,392. I think further downside would be there, as we spoke in early session, up to the level of 25,200 to 25,150. So clear cut direction, Mr. Nifty has clearly said that it may go further down up to the level of 25,200, 25,200, 150. So anybody want to get into the Nifty for sorting, I think this is a perfect entry level.
Okay, got that. That's the view that we have as well on the markets right now. Okay, any key stocks that, Kunal, which I have not asked you, or any key sector that you'd like to highlight for our viewers to keep on their watch list now?
Well, I think I have been keeping eye on one stock, and it was Bajaj Housing Finance. We
Okay.
already discussed, because Means we are like continuously recommending this stock to all our investors for medium to long term purposes. So from my side, it was the Housing Finance only.
Okay, what about tech stocks, IT stocks? How are you trading in them ahead of earnings?
Well, no doubt, high volatility will be there because earning is there. So, based on the ongoing momentum, based on the ongoing scenario, I think one to two stocks are there which looks very attractive. And one is Infosys itself. I will like keeping an eye on this stock and continuously suggesting this stock for long term purposes. Right now, trading at 1680. Downside support comes at 1570. One should get into the stock at present level. First target is 1650, and if stock breaks this level, then one way upside would be there up to the level of 1740. So first is Infosys, and the second is LTIM. The way stock has been trading this daily chart, 5315. I think we may say a very good upside momentum in the counter. One can get into the stock at present level. We will keep SL at 5200, and if you talk about upper side target, first target comes at 5480, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside will be there up to the level of 5700. So LTIM from mid cap and Infosys from large cap looks very attractive.
Okay, got that. Well, thank you so much, Kunal, for being with us and sharing all your thoughts there for all our viewers on the markets and the strategies, key sectors and stocks to keep on their watch list as well. All right, viewers, we'll start wrapping up the morning trading action on market today. Slightly lower in trade. You can actually see a very flat trade right now, 25,400 on the Nifty. We also briefly tested that yet again, and we'll see how it goes forward from here. We've picked up from the low point, but let's hope that it sustains for the better. The pockets that have slipped and are putting some pressure on the markets, metals, the Nifty bank, private banks within that space. These are the pockets that have slipped, and auto is flat to a negative bias kind of a move. Real estate is higher. Mid and small caps are doing well. Oil and gas, consumer durables, FMCG, financial services. These are the pockets that are up. On the Nifty, Bajaj twins are up in trade, 3% higher for Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finserv up by 2.5%. BL, Shriram Finance, Eternal, Wipro, Adani Ports as the stocks that are up. On the downside, Trent is lower by 6.8 odd percent coming in. That's after the AGM updates that are coming in, and Tata Steel, Tech Mahindra, that's also lower in trade. Remember, we have a Macquarie report on Tech Mahindra that has added Tech Mahindra to its marquee sell with a target price of 1,090 now. That's a significant markdown from its current levels of 1650 odd levels, and that's why you see a pressure on Tech Mahindra as well today. SBI Life Insurance, Grasim, these are some of the other stocks that are lower in trade. Let's track FNO. Marico is top mover there, 3.5% higher after the Q1 update. International business soaring. Bosch, Bajaj Finance are the other movers. On the downside, Container Corporation of India, Trent, Angel One, BSE, these are the stocks that you see in pressure. Remember, BSE is also down by 4 odd percent in the FNO space on the back of the Jane Street news that we have told you about as to how the impact could actually be seen on the volumes there, because such large hedge funds have been using such exchange platforms for trading their positions as well. So that's why you do see some kind of an impact there. All right, viewers, we wrap it up on that, but do stay tuned throughout the course of the day. We have a lot more for you to track on the markets. 12 noon, we'll be back with the Daily Calls edition, where we will share with you top stock queries that you will ask and top market experts guiding you through that as well. So stay tuned for that. Much more coming up on your screens right after this.